Owen went through a lot last season, and he also saw a lot last season.
Yeah.
And a few times he kind of questioned, is this a line of work he wants to be in?
Right.
And then in some instances, he doubles down on kind of, wanting to be that hero. How do you think the events of last season kind of impact his perception of things this season as well as his actions through this season?
Yeah, I mean, I think that Owen is a thrill seeker, an adrenaline junkie in his personal life, but he, at the same time, the reason why he didn't, go to the army, or the Navy, or become a police officer, or become a spy, was because, he lost his father when his father was serving overseas. And he promised his mom he wouldn't do anything like that. And so, but he still wanted to serve his country, and he felt he was very patriotic. And so went to law school and, placed himself in a position to get recruited to go to the CIA. And so he said, I'll be a lawyer, right? And then over the course of the first season, he gets thrown into this very deep operative water where he's engaging with spies, engaging with people that are trying to kill him. And he's no longer just a lawyer, but he's this weird nebulous gray area between being a lawyer and a spy. And he's completely unequipped for it, right? And inexperienced in that world. And I think there's that thrill-seeking side of him that actually kind of loves the adrenaline rush. And yet his life is in danger for the entire time, and so that's horrifying and scary, and he's probably frying a part of his brain that has like fear response, and like who knows what kind of long-term effects that has on him. But I think by the end of the first season, he goes, I want out. I don't want to do this anymore, which is pretty clear towards the end of the season. And yet he gets kidnapped and tied up and beaten, and then there's a gun in his face, and that's where we finish season 1. So season 2 is, how is he going to survive this? If he does survive this, how is he going to get out of prison? Because he's going to be blamed for an entire operation going south. And the answer to that comes from this guy right here. And we couldn't be luckier and more fortunate to have a better actor and a better human being coming on as a collaborator for the second season of the show. I mean, he elevates it. It is so sick. It is so fun. And yeah, so I'd say Owen is in for a rude awakening, and hopefully he gets his footing and can punch back above his weight class.
Teo, for you, how would you describe your character's dynamic with Owen? Because as we see, it's not that he necessarily wants to trust Owen, but like he's kind of left with no other option. So you kind of see him you kind of see his brain operate throughout the entire season, like knowing when he should put his trust in Owen and when he may need to pull back or when it's too far. So how would you describe this kind of like push and pull that they have throughout the course of season 2?
I think that Chang Yun believes he's in control up until episode 3, and after episode 3, he has no choice other than lay his cards on the table and at the same time be vulnerable by necessity. And I think that as a trigger has an kind of inspiring effect on Owen, and yeah, so that's exciting to see Owen unfold based on that.
It is quite a dynamic. I think at first we don't know where we stand with each other, and then we're extremely adversarial, and we hate each other kind of. And then, like he was saying, at the end of this, we have a fight scene in his apartment, like a pretty brutal fight scene, and it ends with both of us beaten up and on the floor, and he kind of confesses his reasoning. He shows his cards to Owen. He says, "This is why I'm doing what I'm doing," and like he said, that is the propulsive element that takes us through the end of the season. And so their dynamic it really is, and then it becomes kind of a brotherhood, and so yeah, there's quite an up and down to it, and I think Shane from Netflix, who's in the other room, is probably going to hate me for explaining the dynamic of their relationship to you. Even though it was ambiguous. Yeah. It was probably not.
You're like it's ambiguous enough.
Maybe.
But thank you both so much for chatting with me. I cannot wait for everyone to see this season.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.